Did you know that pigeons are one of the few species that can recognize themselves in a mirror? That's right, folks. These humble birds are more than meets the eye. Pigeons, you see, have an intriguing level of intelligence. One of their most fascinating capabilities is self-recognition. Now you might be thinking, what's so special about that? Well, this ability is quite rare in the animal kingdom and is often associated with higher levels of intelligence. Yes, you heard it right. Higher intelligence. Our feathery friends, the pigeons, share this trait with animals like dolphins, elephants, and some primates, all of which are renowned for their cognitive abilities. Imagine, each time a pigeon sees its reflection, it's not confused or curious. It understands that the bird in the mirror is none other than itself. Intriguing, isn't it? So next time you see a pigeon pecking at a mirror, remember it's not just being silly, it's admiring itself. Ever wondered how pigeons always find their way back home? Well, these remarkable birds have an uncanny knack for navigation that has puzzled scientists for years. It's what we call their homing ability, and it's not just around the block or across town. Pigeons can navigate their way home from hundreds of miles away. Now you might be asking yourself, how do they do it? Well, there are a few theories that attempt to explain this fascinating capability. Firstly, some researchers suggest that pigeons may use the Earth's magnetic fields as a sort of compass. This magnetic sense or magnetoreception could allow them to sense their location relative to their home. Imagine having your own built-in GPS system. On the other hand, another theory suggests that pigeons make use of visual landmarks to navigate. Just like you might remember the way to your favorite restaurant by noting certain buildings or trees, pigeons could also be using their keen eyesight to recognize specific landmarks and follow a familiar route home. But wait, there's more. Some scientists believe that pigeons might also use their sense of smell as a means of navigation. This theory suggests that pigeons build a sort of scent map and use different smells to determine their location. It's like the bird version of following the smell of fresh-baked bread to find the bakery. It's likely that pigeons use a combination of these methods to navigate their way home. This blend of magnetic fields, visual landmarks, and scents would make for a pretty sophisticated navigation system, wouldn't it? And here's a final thought to blow your mind. Some studies suggest that even after being blindfolded, transported in a rotating container to disorient them, and released in an unknown location, pigeons can still find their way home. Now that's impressive. So, if you ever get lost, you might want to have a pigeon as your guide. Pigeons have been more than just city dwellers throughout history. They've been messengers, pets, and even war heroes. Let's take a journey back in time and explore the significant roles these fascinating birds have played throughout history. In ancient times, the Greeks recognized the potential of pigeons and used them as messengers, owing to their exceptional homing abilities. Around 3,000 years ago, the Greeks started a tradition of sending news of important events through pigeons. This was way before the invention of the telegraph or the internet. Just imagine a tiny bird being the primary source of communication between cities and empires. Moving forward to the Middle Ages, pigeons were kept in extravagant dovecotes by monarchs and nobles, who considered them a symbol of prestige. They were not just pets, but also provided a steady source of fresh meat, feathers, and fertilizer. But perhaps the most compelling chapter in the history of pigeons is their role in the world wars. Pigeons were used to carry crucial messages across enemy lines. One such pigeon named Cher Ami saved an entire battalion of lost soldiers in World War I by delivering a message despite being severely injured. In World War II, a pigeon named G.I. Joe saved over 1,000 lives by delivering a message just in time to call off an airstrike. These brave and loyal birds were awarded medals for their heroic deeds, and their stories continue to inspire us. Pigeons were also an integral part of the scientific advancements in the field of communication. The first ever airmail service in history was carried out by pigeons. In the late 19th century, Reuters, one of the world's largest news agencies, used pigeons to deliver news and stock prices. The humble pigeon, often overlooked in our modern cities, has a rich and storied history that is interwoven with our own. They've been there through the rise and fall of empires, through wars and peace, always serving humanity in their unique ways. From ancient Rome to the world wars, pigeons have always been there, making their mark in history. Pigeons like us have their own ways of communicating. They may not have the gift of the gab as we humans do, but they certainly have a language of their own. This language is a mix of body language and vocalizations, particularly cooing sounds. Yes, that's right. Those coos that you hear from the rooftops aren't just noise, they're pigeon conversations. Much of pigeon communication is nonverbal. They use their bodies to signal their intentions and emotions. For instance, a pigeon puffing up its chest and cooing loudly is likely trying to assert dominance or attract a mate. On the other hand, a pigeon that's fluffing up its feathers and hunching down might be feeling a little under the weather. But let's dive into their vocal language, the cooing. The cooing sounds that pigeons make are incredibly varied and can mean different things depending on the context. Much like how we have different tones and inflections in our speech, pigeons have different coos for different situations. A low, throaty coo might be a male pigeon trying to woo a female. A series of rapid, high-pitched coos could be a warning of danger nearby. Some coos are used to establish territory, while others are used to call their chicks. It's essentially a pigeon Morse code, with each coo carrying a different message. And here's a fun fact. Pigeons, especially male ones, can modulate their cooing sounds to mimic the coos of their mates. It's their way of saying, "I understand you, and I'm here for you." Quite a romantic gesture, don't you think? Pigeon communication is a fascinating subject that's still being explored by scientists. And as we learn more about these birds, we're realizing that their communication is more sophisticated and nuanced than we ever imagined. So next time you hear a pigeon cooing from a rooftop or a park bench, remember, you're not just hearing random noise, you're hearing a whole conversation in pigeon language. And who knows? With a little bit of practice, maybe you could even join in the chatter. So those coos you hear aren't just noise, they're pigeon conversations. When you think of a pigeon, you probably imagine the common city pigeon. But did you know there are over 300 different species of pigeons? That's right. Pigeons are a diverse bunch, spanning the globe and adapting to a multitude of environments. Let's take the Victoria crowned pigeon, for instance. This royal bird, named after Queen Victoria, is the largest of the pigeon species, boasting a beautiful crest of lacy blue-tipped feathers. It's a sight to behold in the wilds of New Guinea. Or consider the Nicobar pigeon. Found on the small islands and coastal regions of the Indian Ocean, it's the closest living relative to the extinct dodo bird. It's known for its iridescent plumage that shimmers with every movement. Each species, with its unique traits and adaptations, contributes to the vibrant tapestry of pigeon diversity. So the next time you see a pigeon, give it a second glance. It might be one of the more exotic species. So who knew pigeons could be so interesting? We've delved into the world of pigeons and discovered some truly amazing facts. Their perception, sharper and more dynamic than we ever imagined, allows them to navigate the world with precision and agility. These navigational experts have been used throughout history, playing crucial roles in delivering messages during wartime and even saving lives. The historical significance of pigeons is something not to be overlooked. They've been around for millennia, having been revered by ancient civilizations and appreciated for their contributions to society. We've also learned about their unique communication methods, how they coo, bob their heads, and use body language to interact with each other. And let's not forget about the diversity within the pigeon community, boasting over 300 different species worldwide. So the next time you see a pigeon, remember they're not just city dwellers, they're intelligent navigational experts with a rich history and a language all their own.